Today, we're going to go through word chains. Word chains are a verbal reasoning question type where you've got to find the middle word. This page has been taken from our verbal reasoning book, which is available as a download. There's also a free PDF with 20 questions on it where you can practice word chains for yourself. And that's available in the description. A word chain has typically 3 words in it. So you find the second word to complete the chain. You change one letter at a time to make a different word, and you must not rearrange the letters. You must make a real word when you change the letter. So let's look at our example here. We've got this word, that's our first word. We've got to find this second word here, and we've got our final word. So this is the result. This road is the result. Our first word is foam. First of all, we need to identify which letters need to change. And you do that by looking at your first and your final word. So you've got foam and you've got road. And the 2 letters that change are this F, and that changes to an R. And you have M, and that changes to a D. And that means that there's 2 possible combinations of words that can result. So let's try and see which 2 words are formed. So you've got foam and road. Let's change the F to an R, and we get Rome. Okay, and then let's try and change M to a D. If we change M to a D, then we get F A D, or fode. Now, one of those is a real word, the other one is not. Rome is actually a word, it means to wander about. Fode, on the other hand, is not a word, so therefore our answer will be Rome. And as you can see here, our answer is Rome. So let's go into some questions. So let's look here. We have went, beat. So went is our first word, and then beat is our final word, and we've got to find the word in between. So the 2 letters that change, this W becomes a B. This N becomes an A. So let's just form the 2 possible combinations. If we were to change the N to an A, we have like wheat, which isn't really a word. And then if we were to change our W to a B, we have bent. Of those 2 words, this is a real word, and therefore it's our answer. So I'm just going to write that in like that. And we're done. Let's look at the next one. So we have pray, and our final word is slay. Now the 2 letters that change, this P becomes an S. This R becomes an L. Bearing that in mind, what 2 words can we form? We can get, so if we were to change our P to an S, then we'll get soiree, which isn't a word. If you were to change our R to an L, then we get play. Which one of those is the real word? Play. So therefore, I'm going to write that in. Play is our answer. Next question. So we've got load and loom. So here we have 2 letters that change again. So we've got A and we've got D. Let's look at our 2 words that we can create. So if we were to change our A to an O, then we'd get lewd, which isn't a thing. That isn't real. That's not a word. Loot is, but not lewd. Not spelled that way anyway. If I change the final letter, however, I get loam, which is a type of topsoil. So loam is our answer. L-O-A-M. Again, that emphasizes how important it is for you to develop a wide vocabulary. Let's go on to our final example. In this one, I've changed it up a bit. So now we've got 2 different spaces. So we've got 2 spaces there, and we're going to find the word by applying 2 changes. So this is a bit more difficult because there's 3 letters that change from the first word to the final word. So let's look at, this might take a little bit more time to explain because we've got a bit more to do. So we've got D changing into an S. We've got E changing into a T. We've got A changing into an I. and then R remaining the same. So we're just going to fill out our R's. If we were to change our first letter to an S, we've got sear, which is a word. So you sear a steak or something like that. It's a cooking word. Then, but we've also got to check if there's other possibilities. So if you were to change our E to a T, then we'd have that, detar, which isn't a word. And then if we were to change our A to an I, then we'd have this. So we know for a fact it's got to be sear, because that's the only real word. So I'll write that in like so, and we get a sear. Our next space, we're going to change one more letter. We've already done the first one. So we've got two options there. We can change our E or our A. If we change our E to a T, then we get star, which is a word. So that's good. So it's quite likely to be that. But let's just double check and see if there's any more combinations we can make. So if I change my A to an I, then I get S-E-I-R. And that isn't a word. So we know it must be star. Very occasionally I've seen this question type with 4 words in papers and with 2 gaps missing, where you've got to fill in those words. So it's good to bear in mind that this is possible. And with those ones, you've got to be a little bit careful because there's more possible words that you can create. I'll include some of these 4-word questions in the free PDF, which you can access via the link in the description, alongside the link for our reasoning book, which I know that you'll want to download. To watch another verbal reasoning video, click on one of these boxes. We will see you over there, and don't forget to like and subscribe.